Hi, I'm Olivia Belanger, Health Solutions Reporter for the Keene Sentinel's Monadnock Region Health Reporting Lab. During the holidays, local food pantries see an influx of volunteers and donations, but once the season of giving ends, people aren't as apt to donate their time or their money. This pattern makes it difficult for food pantries to stay afloat. To help, the Keene Sentinel is launching its first News and Nourishment campaign next month. The fundraiser runs through the entire month of April, and all proceeds will benefit the Monadnock Food Pantries Collective, a coalition of 8 area food pantries. On today's show, we're talking with Sarah Harpster, Executive Director of the Community Kitchen in Keene, about the fundraiser and its importance. This is Sentinel Sources. Sarah, thank you so much for being here. Let's start with the Monadnock Food Pantries Collective. For our viewers who might not be familiar, what is the collective and when did it start?
Sure. Thank you so much for bringing me on the show today. So the Food Pantries Collective actually got started in 2019. This is part of the Monadnock United Way's initiative to do collective impact funding and brought a number of food pantries together in the region so that together we could have more impact and more consistent impact across the region. So today we have Jaffrey Food Pantry as well as Ringe and Helping Hands of Troy, Kids Cupboard and the Marlboro Food Pantry in Marlboro, Jones Pantry in Chesterfield, St. Vincent de Paul of Keene, and ourselves, the Community Kitchen. And together we're making sure that we have great food for everyone, including fresh and proteins as well, across the whole region, lowering the barriers of entry for folks and making sure that wherever you enter into the system, you can get the food that you need.
That's great. And at the Community Kitchen specifically, how many people are you serving in a year or whatever time frame feels accurate for you?
Sure. It was just over 1,900 unduplicated individuals last year that accessed food through the Community Kitchen. And of course, we do have our Hot Meals program as well. And altogether, we served almost 250,000 meals last year.
Wow. And for your overall operations for pantries like yours and the Community Kitchen itself, how reliant are you on fiscal donations throughout the year?
We are absolutely reliant on fiscal donations, and of course we're impacted by inflation and those sorts of things just like everybody else. So it has definitely been challenging. Actually, while the inflation has been going up on everything, food inflation has been higher than the rest of inflation. In fact, since 2019, inflation on food is 32%.
Wow.
Yeah, so we all know it when we go to the grocery store, but when we're buying food for so many folks across the region, it really hits home, and it's a challenge for the folks that show up at the Community Kitchen and for us to make sure there's enough food for all of them.
Yeah, and aside from just the purchasing of the actual food, what other challenges present themselves when you have this inconsistency of donations throughout the entire year?
Sure. There's certainly, we have to keep our doors open and pay the electric bills and keep our staff going throughout the year. So we do have other expenses besides the food that we buy. And so it is challenging to keep those stocks and keep everybody going. We don't see any decrease in need just because the holidays are over. So we really appreciate the conversation that you brought to us about how you could help in the season, in this kind of season, because all food pantries and charities everywhere struggle on the off season, although we very much plan for it and appreciate that people do want to give in the holidays, and we do try to keep our stores filled up through the spring, but as it gets toward the end of the spring, it gets harder and harder to scrape by and get to the next season. So.
Yeah, and so for the News and Nourishment fundraiser, which again is in our first year, the goal for that is to raise $15,000, and then that money will then be dispersed between all of the pantries within the collective.
That's right.
Do you know yet, what that money will exactly be used for? Will it be saved away? Will it be used right away? Can you walk us through that?
Yeah, I think it depends on what each of the pantries' needs are at the time. So if that need is immediate, if there's certain foods, it's so funny because for the Food Pantries Collective, we get together quarterly, and you hear some pantries say, oh, we really need cereal. We actually have to go buy it. We get a good deal here. Others are like, oh, come to us. We have extra cereal. But, do you have any, fruit, canned fruit even? So it's just each different community, each different group, because some have an angel in their community, a donor that's always there with this product or that one. So it's kind of sharing that out and that consistency. Some of them, it's a matter of like, we need some shelving or some carts to make our operations easier. A lot of these programs are run by volunteers, and they might need their own accommodations to get the work done. So they'll each make their decisions about how they allocate it based on the immediate needs, I'm sure.
Yeah. And if people are interested, how can they donate to this fundraiser?
Sure, they can do this a number of ways. So we have a wonderful QR code that your folks at the Sentinel have put together on all kinds of publications. So they can look for that around the community and definitely click on it. Or they can go to our website at thecommunitykitchen.org and they'll find that spot. There's the spot to donate just to the community kitchen, or there's now another page, there will be during April, another page to donate to News and Nourishment. So if they're donating to News and Nourishment, they're donating to this whole collective.
Great.
Yeah. And they can call us as well.
Great. And for those who may not be able to donate financially, volunteers will also be outside of 3 area grocery stores, Hannaford and the Monadnock Food Co-op in Keene and Market Basket in Swansea on Sunday, April 23rd, collecting food donations from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And donation bins will also be available at those locations the entire day if people can't make that specific time frame. Aside from that, what other ways can they show their support for local food pantries if they can't make that date or if they can't donate financially at this time?
We're always open for people to come volunteer, to just give us a call, find out what are the latest things that are going on. They can drop by with food any of our business hours, so 9 to 5 Monday through Friday at 37 Mechanic Street here in Keene. So we're always taking food donations. When they're shelf stable, we're looking for stuff that's in date and good to go, stuff that you would put on your own pantry shelf. And they can just call us at 603-352-3200. And Andrea, our volunteer coordinator, definitely knows where the needs are.
Well, great. Well, thank you, Sarah, for talking with us. And thank you for joining us on Sentinel Sources. I'm Olivia Belanger, and we'll see you next time.